There are a lot of towers in TDS, and one of them is Necromancer. Necromancer is probably one of the most, if not the most, underrated tower in TDS. And one of the really strong ones as well if used properly. And for today's video, I will be teaching you on how to use this powerhouse of a tower correctly, of course. But let's take a look of its base stats first, so we can know what we're getting into, Let's see if it interests you to use this tower, or you just want to learn it, and you want to know how the efficient way to learn to use Necromancer. So here we go. Now, the base cost to place this tower down is 4,200 money. And the base selling cost of this is 1,400. And the base damage of this tower deals 15. And the base fire rate is 1.2 seconds. And the base range of this is 23. And the gravestone range is 6.5. And if you're wondering what is a gravestone range, I will get to that later. And the placement limit is 3. Now, the gravestone range is that yellow range right inside its white range, that's where he is going to summon his gravestones, where you can use the ability right there and summon a variety of skeletons depending on what level is your Necromancer. Now, Necromancer has a meter right here where if it fills all the way up, that's when he is going to place his graves, where you can finally summon the skeletons you'd like to summon, which is right there. Pressing the ability while the gravestones are up are obviously going to summon the skeletons, and there are a variety of skeletons you can summon depending on the level of your Necromancer, just as I said earlier. And now Necromancer can be amazing when using it as a safety net if you are trying to defend from mid-game, because it can be used as a really strong safety net if an enemy manages to slip past your frontline defense, and whereas the Necromancer is your only option to kill that enemy, unless it's not that high of a HP. Now, at max level, this becomes a late game / end game destroyer, where it can demolish high health enemies if you have all 3 max level Necromancers. At max level, when he places his graves, it looks normal at first, but it upgrades over time when he's dealing damage. So you can get a level 1 grave to a level 3 grave right here. And summoning these level 3 graves will summon even stronger skeletons that could literally demolish a whole ass army if it's used correctly. Now, Necromancer is not an easy tower. He's one of the most difficult towers to learn in TDS and requires a lot of patience, so please stay strapped in and you can have absolute fun with this tower when you learn how to use it. Now let's go over something simple enough to understand: when to place this tower. You're going to place Necromancer around mid-game, but I recommend not placing Necromancer immediately when mid-game starts. As I said, you have to be patient with this tower or else you won't get the most potential out of it. Let's use Fallen as an example. Place Necromancer around wave 18 to 20 or a bit above. And why should we place it here? Since you have other towers to prioritize. You don't need to rush anything. This game is about patience. And by prioritizing other towers, it's such as DJ, a mid-game DPS, or just anything really. Now here's something I like to do with Necromancer. On my first Necromancer, I like to set the target priority to strongest until level 4, since it could be consistent with its summons. When it's set to first target priority, the target he's trying to kill will sometimes die to some other towers, and sometimes the bolts will miss and not gain any damage. So I'd like to do this, and you should too. It's really good and it can be very consistent. Next up is when to upgrade it. Now, when you get the chance, just upgrade your first Necromancer to level 1 and leave it alone to upgrade other towers for a bit. Since Necromancer is not your only important tower, you have other important towers too, such as DJ, a DPS tower, or just a support tower, any support tower. You don't have to immediately upgrade your Necromancer to level 3 or 4 since that will just waste a lot of time and then you'll eventually lose because you're not upgrading your other towers that could have gotten you through the waves much easier. So for a while, you have to upgrade your Necromancer to level 1 first and then go on and upgrade other towers so that you could go through the waves a lot easier and you can upgrade Necromancer more as the waves goes on. Now upgrading Necromancer is not as cheap as the other towers. He is quite expensive to upgrade, taking a whopping $111,120 to upgrade Necromancer at max. So yeah, it's quite expensive and that's why you have to be patient with this tower. And upgrade it to level 2 once some of your towers are upgraded and yeah. Or a dangerous wave in the mid game is going to come up and that's when you are going to upgrade it so you can get prepared and get as much damage as possible to get through the wave. Kinda the same as level 2 but just a little bit later since it's a bit expensive and you have to prioritize your other towers because waiting for a level 3 may take a while and possibly die, but you can wait it out. Plus if you do get a level 3 a bit earlier, then it could absolutely go through most of mid game. Now as for the final level, you can freely upgrade this whenever you want since it's really strong and you'll get a lot of money otherwise. And only upgrade if you think you have amazing defense or just good defense. It's alright. And now you're probably asking, hey, when do I place the other two Necromancers? Well, you could place them around the start of late game since a level max Necromancer can get through a few waves without the help of other Necromancers. But just place and upgrade your last two Necromancers to max and then that's where you're gonna demolish a lot of enemies. And placing your second and third Necromancer, when you place the second and after the second the third one, just upgrade them to max if your defense is really good and you're using your abilities often so that you don't die while upgrading your other two Necromancers. Now let's get into something that I should have said first before saying all of this stuff, is the pros and cons of Necromancer. Let's get into the pros first. Now the pros of this tower is having excellent late game potential, a really good safety net, a decent mid game, and strong summons. Now time for the cons. Now the cons of this tower is being really expensive, hard to use, mediocre DPS, and map dependent. Now yes, this can be a really good tower in the good hands and in a good map, but unless you don't have VIP, you might have to gamble the maps and hope you get a pretty good one for Necromancer, or Necromancer is not gonna do well on maps that aren't really good for it. Let's look at the clip that we are watching right now. This map is called Crossroads and there are few places to place Necromancer, but they're both really good and that's why this map is pretty good for Necromancer. You could put them right here or there. But maps like Moonbase are not really essential for Necromancer since there's very little places to place Necromancer and those places are not that good. Now let's get on to the final topic, how to use its ability. At level 0 to 1, it will only put up one set of graves, and that set is 3 graves. So at level 0 to 1, just use the ability as soon as the graves spawn. And if you're a little bit cheeky, wait for them to put up the graves and wait for the meter to go full again, use the ability, and then once once you use the ability, it will automatically summon the next set of graves. Now at level 2 to 3, it will summon 2 sets of graves, meaning you have 6 now. So wait until it has its 2 sets of graves up, and if it's level 3, wait for it to be leveled up where the tip is just a bit cracked, and then use it. And it will just bomb through the frontline enemies, or just remaining enemies, or just the middle part of the enemies. Now at level max. And a little bonus tip, just set the target priority back to first, since when it's set to strongest priority, it will only target one enemy, which is the strongest one, so yeah. But on the final and last level, just use it when it has all graves up and all of them are upgraded. And same thing for other necromancers as well, once you have them maxed. And yeah, that's really it. I also forgot to mention that max level shoots 3 beams and it will target 3 enemies at once, but deals less DPS. But and yeah, that's it for this guide. And I hope this guide makes you think differently about the Necromancer, and that how strong of a tower it is in the good hands. But I know this guide ain't perfect. Nothing on my videos are, but it's enough to make you understand on how great the Necromancer tower is, and that hope you can use it more often than it deserves, because many people ignore this tower because they're using it the wrong way. But I've been using it for a while and it's pretty good, pretty damn strong. And it's sad to see it very underrated and not really used by many people. Now this is just a yap sesh, but yeah, it's really just a Necromancer guide. I had nothing to do and I just wanted to do this guide because people are not utilizing this tower enough. Now, this is the end of the video. Hope you all have a great day or night, and see you all next video. Bye bye!